Hey, buddy, come here. Come here. Yeah, good boy. Come here. Come here. Oh, you're getting too big and fat for this. Yes, you are. Look at this guy. It's too big. Oh. Okay. Bye-bye. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 49 of the Crochet Cakes podcast. In this episode, I'm gonna try and keep it pretty short because I have a mega list of things I need to get done today. Today is Monday, August 20th, and I actually have the day off, which is why I'm podcasting today. And I could not be more excited about this day off because I have so much to do. But I also feel like I've accomplished a lot of things. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and just checking in with me every other week where I post a podcast. I try to keep it to every 2 weeks. And if you're a new viewer, then thank you so much for just checking out this podcast to spend a little crafty time with me. Seriously, it means the world to me that you guys just keep coming back week after week and you keep commenting. I love interacting with you through comments. But if you also want to interact with me anywhere else, I am available on Instagram, not 24/7, but almost, as Crochet Cakes. You can find me on Ravelry as Crochet Cakes, and in Ravelry you will find a beautiful, wonderful, talented community of crafters, and you can just join the Crochet Cakes podcast Ravelry group by searching Crochet Cakes podcast in the groups tab on Ravelry. If you have something longer that you'd like to write to me, then you can contact me via email. It's crochetcakespodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to interact more with me, then you can go check out the Crochet Cakes blog by just typing in your search bar crochetcakes.com. I did do a couple of blog posts. I try to do a blog post every week, so it will sometimes coincide with when I post the podcast, and it'll sometimes fall between podcasts. So I just posted a blog post this morning, which was very exciting because I actually just posted the Shield Maiden pattern on that blog post. Now, that pattern is only available for sizes small and medium. I'm still working out on the large. I'm working out on writing it up in Spanish, and I'm working out on having it available in different yarn weights. So I think for the small, if you use a DK weight yarn, you could use the stitch count for the large, which is written in the pattern, but I haven't given any instructions for it in the pattern. So I did that, and then before this week, on August the 12th, I believe, I also put up my puff stitch cushion cover. So that is available in my blog as well. These are all free patterns. I'm gonna try and keep my patterns free. There's a lot of work that goes into them, and I firmly agree with people buying patterns and paying for them. But I just want to use my patterns as an extra way to interact with you guys and make them as freely available as possible. And I know that some people really need to budget to buy patterns and yarn for it, so I want to just keep it all friendly. So for the puff stitch cushion, I did a photo tutorial for the puff stitch part, which is here. Okay. This is it, and this is using Craft to Noon Treats yarn. It's 100% Romney lamb's wool. It's woolen spun. And then from the puff stitch, we go to a solid granny square, which is what you see here. And the back of the cushion is simply granny stitch. So I guess you could actually call it more of a pattern recipe than you could call it more of a recipe than a pattern. That's what I was trying to say. What else have I been up to? I went to try on some wedding dresses this past weekend, and I didn't really find any that I actually really liked. So, excuse me, my dog just took my knit socks and he's biting them. Oh, he knew he wasn't supposed to. He left them alone. Good. Anyway, so yes, didn't really find any dresses that I liked. I've continued playing Mario Kart. I'm still not the best. I'm actually sucking quite a lot. But I also asked for less hours at work, which I'm really happy about because I really, really want to dedicate myself as much as I can to my Etsy shop, which you will find all the links for this all down below, you know. So I want to dedicate myself as much as I can to the Etsy shop. I want to do a shop update. It will probably happen Thursday. I'm going to try to get all the bags sewn and finished today so I can take some pictures and take advantage of the beautiful sunlight out waiting for me out there. And I guess that's really what I've been up to in terms of just my life in general. But yes, it is time to move on to something. And if you've been following the podcast, at least since July, you will know that unfortunately the summer of Romance Cal has come to an end. I'm very, very sad about it. So the Summer of Romance Cal is a Cal that I've been co-hosting with my friend Claudia of the Crochet Luna podcast, and it's been such fun. I've been checking out the finished objects thread. I've been participating in the chatter thread, which the chatter thread was hosted in my Ravelry group, and Claudia was hosting the finished objects thread in her Ravelry group. And I love both threads, but I think the chatter thread was such fun because I got to read how people determined the bad boys and how they were going to be represented with yarn. So I just thought that was brilliant. In some cases, I know, for example, Lacey, she commissioned to have, I think Lacey, you commissioned to have a yarn dyed for you. I don't know, but whatever. That yarn was just, it was out of this world. And the shawl that you made with it, oh my God. And Stasia, who is Stasia Crochet on Instagram, girl, you threw it out of the park, okay? It was just so many beautiful garments. I was actually kind of jealous of the amount of garments that you managed to finish. I want to finish that many garments as well. But you actually just motivated me to keep working on garments. So thank you, Stasia. And your garments were beautiful. They were beautiful. And she did several bad boys and also Lady Mary as her bad girl, which I thought was great. I loved all her bad boys. And Rosalba, you knit 2 cardigans. Girl, that was great. That was great. So, Hannah, you did some great, I was going to say great garments. But I'm confused because for the last Summer of Romance Cal, Hannah did a garment representing Wesley. And for this one, she did Loki, represented in her Treasure Island shawl. And I know several of you also did Treasure Island shawl, which I just thought was brilliant. Let's use up all our beautiful stash of yarn. So anyway, we had 33 participants in the chatter thread. So that's 33 voices, participating. And since I also participated in the chatter thread, I didn't want to count my comments, and I had like 18 comments in total. So what I did was that I went through the voices. So the people that participated in the chatter thread, it didn't matter if you only did one post, you would be counted for that chatter thread. But most of you did several posts, so from 2 to 3 posts. But I thought it was fair and yet unfair at the same time. I thought it was fair because then everybody had one equal chance of coming up. And then I thought it was unfair because some people like Lacey and Stasia, you guys participated so much in that chatter thread that I just didn't know how to do it. But I went with the 33 voices because that would not count me. And yeah, I really wanted to not count myself for the prizes because, guys, the prizes were meant for you. So, prizes. Let's review what was up for grabs. So what was up for grabs was a crochet hook case sewn by me and this gorgeous, gorgeous project bag. Well, I say it's gorgeous because I made it. And I'm allowed to be biased. But anyway, I love this fabric. And the idea behind this fabric was to represent practical magic, which is one of my favorite Halloween movies. So it's a simple project bag, 13 by 13. It's a drawstring. I just haven't decided on which drawstring I want to include with it. Sorry, we interrupted this podcast to play ball with a very hyperactive puppy. But as I was saying, the person that came out as the winner for this year's Summer Romance Cow. Now, I had nothing to do with this decision. I promise you. I random number generated voices 2 to 33 to discount me. I was the first voice. And this was the number that came up. So yes, please, Faye, if you could get in touch with me. You are the lucky winner of this project bag and a crochet hook. Hey, you can write to me on Instagram, Ravelry, here on YouTube. Just get in touch with me and I will be sending the prize out to you. I swear, I had nothing to do with pulling out that number. I random number generated. Right. So, speaking of summer romance, I didn't get to finish my shawl, but I guess I was well along in it, I think. Ooh. I'm in the middle, I'm at the beginning of a row actually. So yes, I'm only just going to share this with you a little bit. I did manage to work on it somewhat. I finished all the stripes here and I'm onto these stripes here. So hopefully this will be finished in a few, because I have been working on it for, a month and a half almost. And it was living in my practical magic bag. So there is that. I won't really talk too much about it because I've talked about it a lot. So I will mention it again once I've finished it. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is a ginormous, magnanimous, finished object. So, if you guys remember, I don't know if you've head on over to my blog. I wrote a blog post about the things I had expected to finish in the summer, but I just didn't get around to them for various reasons. And since Catherine of Crafting and Treats is hosting a finish along, I was like, what better time to actually do this and get it off my hook? And it is Liula. So I also posted this picture on Instagram just when I finished it, and I finished it on the 7th of August. And guys, it's a whopping 93 inches long, I believe. It's huge. I have no amount of blocking pins or blocking mats that are or will make up anything big enough to block this. So this will probably just block. I've been blocking it out by weight. So I've been hanging it and just letting the weight of it kind of drop it out more. But what I find hilarious is that you can definitely see how my gauge or tension changed. This is the end of the shawl. And this is the beginning of the shawl. So you can see my tension gauge loosened up a lot. Now, for this, I used 2 gradient mini sets from Artyarns. They're the Milano gradient mini sets, and you can purchase them on craftsy.com. I checked yesterday and they only have a purple gradient set available. Now, what I liked about this yarn, it's classified as a sport, and I just have no idea why. It's really a light fingering, as proven by this. I used a 4mm hook, and look at how lacy and stretchy the fabric is. So, I used a 4mm hook like the pattern said. The only difference was that, of course, I used a wool yarn instead of a cotton light fingering yarn. So I have a lot of more bounce, a lot more softness, and just a lot more drapiness. That's what I was going for. Now, even though I used 9 minis in total, it would have been 10 minis. Each set brings 5 minis, but I left this color out. I would have repeated it twice, and I actually wish I would have, because I think it would have looked much better. But at the same time, this is really long enough, and it took me almost a year to finish, so I'm not going to beat myself up over it. But since this is 100% wool yarn, it's 100% wool yarn, so I felted or fold my ends together. You can see that there. I mean, it's not super obvious. I know where they are because I can see them more clearly. But, guys, it made the world of difference. Just taking that extra minute to separate my strands and fold them together made all the difference when making this shawl. Because if not, I would have had to weave in all those ends. And I only wove in 2 ends. One here and one here. And yes, I actually wove in ends. Come on, I only had 2 to weave in. Even I'm not that bad about weaving in ends. So this is the greatest finished object ever, because it took me so long to make, and it will be a Christmas present. I mean, the more I look at it, the more I kind of want to keep it because I love that color. It was the Malachite Gradient Mini Set. I love how the colors work together, and I really love the stitch. But I'm thinking I'll probably take the pattern and maybe do a cow, something smaller and not as overwhelming. Gosh, it's really gorgeous, isn't it? It's just... But I'm still going to give it away as a Christmas present, because the person who I'm giving it away to, I think, will greatly, greatly appreciate it. So that's my only finished object for this week, but it's such a huge finished object, and it took me so long that I'm so proud of it. And because I finished that, I allowed myself to start 3 new projects. One of them doesn't count because it's not for me. It's a commission that I got, and I really need to finish by the end of next week. So I really need to get my head around it. But it's an amigurumi, and you guys know how much I dislike making amigurumis. But all of Edison's friends always ask for amigurumis, and hey, it's extra cash. So I'll talk more about that in a later podcast. I'll probably show it to you guys finished I know they don't watch the podcast, but I'm really limited for time today, so I just want to make this as great for you guys to watch and great for me to edit. So we're going to move on to the only item I'm showing you right now in the What Am I Hooked On segment. And I'm showing it to you because it's something that I've been wanting to start for ages. And it is this Aster top found in the Filigree collection of Marie Wallin. It's beautiful. And let me just show you a full picture of it. I mean, I've showed it to you guys before, but it's beautiful and it's worth looking at more than once, and now I can't find it. So here is Aster. Now, I have cut several bones to pick with Aster. And I'll talk about those after I show you. It's obviously living in the best project bag ever. It was made by Mom for me. Seriously, I love this project bag, and I think it's one of the ones I use the most, and it always keeps extra special projects, or makes every project extra special. So this is where I am up to with the Aster top. Just want to show you the yarn. And this yarn is the yarn I received in my first ever knit crate. And it is Gray Twist Marled Sock, 40% merino wool, 40% Highland wool, 20% nylon, fingering weight, 237 yards. And all of the yarns are naturally colored. So I received this in my first ever knit crate box. It was the contemporary box, and if you don't remember, you could reference my yarn review video on knit crate. It's here on my channel as well. And ever since I saw Sandra make a pair of socks with this, I obviously didn't want to make a pair of socks. I had 2 hicks, and I'm horrible at knitting socks. But I can't wait to start the green detailing on the black. I'm so excited, guys. I just can't even describe it. So I've just been working on this little by little to try to get it there. My gauge was close enough with a 2.75 millimeter hook, even though she does suggest in the pattern a 2.5. I think I was off by 1/8 of an inch, and it didn't bug me enough to want to go purchase a 2.5 ergonomic crochet hook. So I'm just using a 2.75. And frankly, I feel that's as low as I can go without murdering my hands. So, what bones do I have to pick with Marie Wallin? I have several. So, number 1, she never tells you what Rowan Summerlight actually is. I had to look it up. And for construction, she just tells you everything at the end. So what she recommends in terms of how do you work with tension, sizing, the finishing, the pressing, the stitching, and the aftercare of your garment if you're choosing buttons. Now, the one thing I do appreciate a lot is that she tells you the model is Georgia. She's 5'8" tall and is wearing a standard 8 or 10. She's wearing the smallest size in each photograph. Now, what this should have told me is that this is too big for me. Even the smallest size is too big for me. The smallest size is meant to fit a bust 32 to 34 because it's a small medium. Now, for me, even though I was only off by 1/8 of an inch, which I just thought was close enough, my piece measures about 22 inches wide, which will be very, very wide. That's one of the things that I'm a bit bummed about, because that probably means I won't have enough yarn, because I only wanted to do the, let me just show this to you in a way that you can't read. So I only wanted to do the last several rows of this detail and the sleeves detailing and the neckband in the green. I want it to just be kind of like an extra detail and not have to do the whole bulk of it in green. So that's one thing that I'm just really upset about. The other thing, that she gives you the final measurements and it says 46 centimeters. Now, those 46 centimeters, do they include the hem, or is it just the blouse, the main part of the blouse? She doesn't tell you. And for the sleeve, the same thing. It says 45 centimeters, but she does not include if that is including the hem or if that is just plain. So yes, I think those are the main bones I want to pick with this pattern. It does say it's kind of, what is it, two stars with, what is that, intermediate? Average ability. I think my ability is above average, but I haven't had any problems with how she wrote the pattern, except that she always tells you the chain 3 counts as a stitch, right? So she has you skip the stitch at the base and then do 8 more. I didn't have that. I only had 7, so I've been kind of ignoring that instruction. I did chain correctly, and I did have the correct number of stitches at the beginning, and I did not skip stitches. I reviewed all this, guys, especially because I had to rip it back to the first 2 rows because I had done this. So you do a single crochet here, and I'm not giving a lot away because this is a stitch pattern that she's using. So the design, the design elements might be hers, but the stitch is not. So here, as you can see, you have a single crochet joining 2 chain spaces. I had joined 3, and that was giving me a very weird look at the bottom. And I was like, this looks really weird. It looks nothing like her. So lo and behold, I went back, read the pattern again, and I had made that mistake. But I'm gonna keep working on it, even though I'm still unsure about how big it's going to be. I think it's going to be, give or take, 44 inches. I'm sorry, 44 centimeters. No, 44 inches. Yeah, because it's 18 inches, 45 centimeters. Yeah, so I think it'll be very wide, but we'll see. Maybe I'll enjoy it anyway and I'll still wear it. And if not, I could always give it to Mom, depending how I feel about it, right? So that is the only crochet object I'm showing you today. I've been working a bit on the Ollivander shawl, as I just showed you. I have been joining several squares for the Secret Garden dress, and that's mostly what I've been working on. I have not worked on any of my knit socks. I'm really bad when it comes to knitting socks, and it makes me feel really guilty because a lot of people in my family want them. I really have to just get on top of it, or maybe invest in a knitting machine. Right, well, the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is a swatch that I did with Melissa, who is Melissa Dawn Wool Artist on Instagram, and she also has the Melissa Dawn Wool Artist podcast. And she had seen an Instagram story that I did of the Alice in Wonderland fabric, and she requested if I could please make her a crochet hook case. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my phone trying to see if I have a picture saved anywhere. But she had mentioned if I could do a crochet hook case for 21 hooks out of the Alice in Wonderland fabric. And nope, none of the, I didn't take any pictures of it. Yeah. I can't believe I did not take any pictures of it. I took pictures of all the other crochet hook cases I made except for the Alice in Wonderland one. I really should be ashamed of myself. But anyway, so I made her a crochet hook case to fit 21 crochet hooks. I sent her a little planner, and I also sent her a Cupcake Notions pouch. So I just took it down from my shop and I sent it to her. And she sent me, are you ready for this? So we swapped. It was a swap. She sent me, first and foremost, a card. Now this is just not just any card. So these were, I think she participated in the Etsy or the Instagram thing of more than just a card. So the idea behind it is that you receive this and then you detach and you have a small, beautiful watercolor original piece that you could just frame and, you know, not throw the whole card away, which I think is brilliant. I absolutely love it. She sent that, but she also sent me this beautiful hank of yarn. So this, I'm pretty sure it was Tea Leaves, the colorway, and it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's beautiful and squishy. It's got a high twist, which there we go, is my favorite. I love a yarn with high twist. So I'm gonna do something I don't usually do, and it's gonna be open it and untangle it. It's so beautiful and it's so soft. It doesn't feel as super washy as other yarns, for which I'm really thankful. But the color is just gorgeous, isn't it? This is why I don't unravel skeins, because I can never get them as tight. I mean, hanks of yarn, I can never get them as tight and pretty as what they were. She also sent me a mini skein, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. I love the colors, and it's also 80/20. It's so beautiful. I believe the mini skeins. She said 20 grams, 75/25 superwash merino nylon. Sorry, not 80/20, it's 75/25, but it feels like an 80/20. It's so soft and squishy, and like I said, I don't feel that super plasticky feel that some yarns have when they're superwash. She also made a stitch marker. Which is gorgeous, I love. And she sent a mini for me to give away to you guys. And I believe this was Rose Garden, maybe? It's beautiful, and it feels just as luscious as my other mini. So I think I'm gonna save this for a future giveaway. But I love everything in my package, so yeah, just thank you so much, Melissa. It was so fun doing that exchange with you. I really hate that I can never get them as tight as they come. So I made a cheeky purchase. And it's this. It's this beautiful crochet hook. I mean, it's beautifully made. I guess what I can't come to terms with is the yellow that was used as the backdrop to this vibrant yellow. I like lemony yellow, but I'm not sure about it. But it's still a beautifully made hook. This is a Susan Bates I think it was a 4.5. I believe Susan Bates comes with a 4.5. But she stamped the G, and it's very carefully made. And just look at this chip. It's gorgeous. And he's a stitch marker, which I am very happy to be using. It's very comfortable crochet hook. It doesn't have anything that protrudes from the outside, so there's nothing to dig into your hands when you're crocheting it, and I actually really like the feel of it. The only thing I can't come to terms with is the yellow, but it's still beautifully made, and I'm still going to use it, and I'm still very happy I purchased it. I honestly, for the life of me, cannot recall who I purchased it from right at this moment, but I'm the worst. I'm the worst. But it was made in 2 weeks, and it was shipped to me in those 2 weeks, and I did not have to wait eternally for it. But I'll include the link down below for you guys. So yes, those are my cheeky purchases. Although saving faced, one of them was not a purchase, one of them was a swap, which I very happily participated in. So other than all this crafty gorgeousness that I had to share with you today, I believe that is it from me to you. I do have to now go edit this podcast, and I have to finish sewing up some bags for this Friday's shop update. They're all going to be, I think there is only one, which is a size 13 by 13, which is my medium size bag. All the other bags are sock bags, so they're the fabric is cut out to be 11 by 11, and they're, if you guys want to enter the sock along hosted by Faye, and I believe Claudia's also helping her co-host that sock along, which starts the 1st of September. Does it start the 1st of September, or are they going to kick it off in Yarndale? Either way, it's in September. So if you want to start getting ready for that by, you know, having some sock bags, feel free to stop by my shop, and if there's anything you like, then yeah, let me know. I am all sold out at the moment of the felted bags, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed them. Rockin' Penny? Is that, did I totally just butcher your name? I probably did. But she, Rocky Mountain Penny? Rocky MTN Penny. She wrote the most wonderful and gorgeous review of the felted bags, which really made my day, and I know it also made Mom's day. It's a great feeling when anything you make is so greatly appreciated by the people who purchase it, and you know they're gonna have such loving homes. So yes, it was super. I just can't put into words how amazing it was to get tagged and read that review. So thank you for buying, thank you for reviewing, and just thank you for always showing up and watching my podcast. I guess that's going to be it from me to you. Like I said, the shop update will probably go up Thursday and around 4 p.m. So if you want to stop by and check that out, I will try and have the Halloween bags in the next update because I did purchase some fabric. And the other thing I forgot to mention is that Claudia, Melissa, Mom, and I are joining forces to bring you guys some little Christmas, like some little Advent fun. It'll be a mini Advent calendar. I believe Melissa is dyeing 14 hanks of minis, and I believe there'll be 20-gram minis. Claudia will be designing a pin, I will be making the sock bag, and Mom will be crocheting up a little mini sock keychain for you guys, which if you also have like a tiny Christmas tree or a Christmas advent calendar, you could put in your advent calendar as well. So there is that to look forward to. We haven't hashed out any of the final details, but hopefully we'll be doing that this week. I think they're only waiting for me to tell them how much the bags are going to cost. But yeah, I'm so excited. So I've got Halloween bags to make, Christmas bags to make, and just general lovely goodness that'll be going into the Etsy shop that I really hope you guys enjoy. So yes, thank you so much for sticking with me for this not so short episode. And now I am off to edit this podcast, do some laundry, sew up some bags, eat some lunch, work on commissions. The life! Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy crafting. Bye!